recorded live in Houston, Texas. Welcome to the Papa Jeff's America podcast. Continuing the conversation one podcast at a time, we're having a conversation about what's going on in our world, politics, government, current world events, things you want to talk about with commentary, exhilarating guests, and what would a broadcast be without Papa Jeff's classic old guy humor? It'd be like a day without sunshine. The real question is this the America you want to live in? And now, Mr. Here We Go himself, PG the OG, Papa Jeff. Hello, Houston. Hello, Texas. Hello, America. I'm PG the OG. I'm Papa Jeff. PG Radio weather, high today of 98, overnight low of 74. Currently it's 88 degrees and mostly cloudy at the OG Studios near the George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today for our introduction, kind of our orientation for the Papa Jeff's America podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Cameron, fondly known to many as Papa Jeff. PG the OG, and OG's not what you may think it means. OG means old guy. Old guys rule, y'all. But I digress. So here's what's going to be going on here at the Papa Jeff's America podcast. As of this recording, we're planning to drop our premiere episode in about a week's time, barring stuff and things, God willing, and the creek don't rise, because after all, this is Houston. I have a very good friend and colleague that was born and raised just northeast of here, and he informs me that the Texas locals pronounce it Houston. That's that the H is silent. Now, I completely believe that because we have a neighboring community called Humble. Now, I learned very early on after moving to Houston, they definitely knew I wasn't from around here real quick, because Humble is pronounced just like that, Humble, not humble like I pronounced it. The H is silent, Humble. So, welcome to Houston, Papa Jeff. So what's our podcast mission? Well, we are continuing the conversation because the struggle is real, and we're doing it one podcast at a time. We have a fluid and dynamic format. Just bring it, and we'll get her done. Now, I just want to put it out there that I don't want to knowingly repeat false information. I don't want to traffic in known falsehoods. Now, the key word here is knowingly, since we're having a conversation, and a lot of what we're going to be discussing is opinions and beliefs. The possibility of something slipping is likely, but again, we're sure not going to do it knowingly. Our good friend Morgan Freeman said, just because I disagree with you doesn't mean that I hate you. Absolutely. Disagree doesn't mean dislike. No one is going to agree 100% of the time. How boring would that be? So just because we may disagree doesn't mean that I dislike you, and I hope you don't dislike me. We're not going to agree 100% of the time. So what about me? What about PG the OG? Well, with all the terms that are out there, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Q. Wait, Q was the tech guy in James Bond, right? Okay, and now there's the whole QAnon thing too, but we don't want to go there either. Well, at least not right now. But there's millennials and a little bit of this and a little bit of that and everything else. So I'm a boomer. When I was growing up, the world was different. My mom was a 1950s housewife. She got her college degree and then got married, and when my dad got out of the Army, and that was after World War II. Dad was the breadwinner, and I had a good life. Basically, I didn't want for anything. My folks, and I think because it was during those times, we were able to live that way. We were able to do those things as a family. Today, not so much, especially since this whole coronavirus thing. So I live in Houston. We're in Harris County, Texas, and we're a COVID-19 hotspot. Let me tell you, it's bad, guys. It's really bad. Now, I don't know where you are. I have friends that are all over the country. I have friends that are international. But I know how it is here in Houston, in Harris County. And I don't know how everybody feels about this whole it's a hoax, it's just going to magically disappear thing. But I know people with both medical and non-medical backgrounds that have been personally affected by this thing. Guys, it doesn't matter where it came from or how it got here. It's here. It's alive. And it's really proficient at what it's supposed to do, infecting everyone that it can. What matters is what should have and didn't happen at the federal level. But that's an entirely different subject for an entirely different broadcast as well. This is real, guys. Wear your mask when you're out in public. Your mask may protect them, and their mask may protect you. Don't go out unless you have to. Stay socially distanced. Wash your hands frequently. But before we move on, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to our Harris County Judge, the Honorable Lena Hidalgo. She's the lady in charge. She's young, smart, an attorney, and I might add, very attractive. She put programs in place to slow the spread of COVID in this county. Man, I love smart, powerful women. But there I go, and the whole digress thing again. So there you have it. Papa Jeff's America, the podcast in a nutshell. Like what you hear? You know you do. So let's get after it. Let's continue the conversation. I'll see y'all next time, y'all. Here we go. Thanks for joining us for the Papa Jeff's America podcast. Papa Jeff's America is recorded live at OG Studios in Houston, Texas, and is a production of Cameron Communications. Special thanks and music credit to Texas Radio Fish, Galveston County, Texas, online at ccmixter.org. Email us your suggestions and comments to papajeffpodcast@gmail.com. Please subscribe to our podcast at papajeffpodcast.buzzsprout.com. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks again for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing you next time when we continue the conversation, one podcast at a time.